Okay, so let's start. Okay, we'll start with the string conversion first of all. Okay, so let's start with some examples. What we want to do is that convert a x value, a type of a primitive, to a string. Okay, we have a couple of primitives like number, boolean, etc., and we want to convert into a string. Okay, so let some number equals to 22. And if we want to convert it to a string, what do? We use a string capital S, okay, and then we pass in the some number. Okay, now let's start Coca and see if it is working fine or not. Okay, so you see 22 is a number, and then what we have in the output is 22 surrounded with a quote. Okay, so this is one of the ways through which we can convert it to a number. We have another ways. Let's try it out as well. To string. Okay, this also works fine. Okay, this also converts things to a string. Now let's go ahead and try out with a boolean. Okay, let some true the value equals to false. False is also a true the value because it means that it is not true, so it's false. Okay, so then what do? We want to convert it to a string, right? Some true the value. So false is now surrounded with a quote, which means it's a string now. Okay, if we try and just do a type of, it says that hey, I'm a string. Okay, however, if we just try with type of equals to sum through the value, it says that's boolean. So which means that if you pass a variable around the string, okay, convert it into a string type, it doesn't changes the original variable. Okay, it doesn't change the original variable. We can see that sum to the value is still a boolean, while when we converted sum to the value to a string and then we got a type of it, it says that it's a string. If you remove it, it says sum to the value is a string now because false is surrounded around the quotes. Okay, likewise we can also go ahead and do the same thing for that as well. Okay, sum to the value dot to string. I think it's fine. Okay, now we can go ahead and try out some numeric conversions. Okay, this was all about string conversion. I don't think there is anything much needed apart from that. Okay, now we'll go ahead with number to string conversion. I mean, sorry, um, primitive to number conversion. Okay, now we will go ahead with primitive to number conversion. Okay, so let's try out something weird in JavaScript. Let's say 6 divided by 3. It's 2, right? 6 divided by 3 is 2. If we just do 6 by 3, it also says 2. What just happened? The 6 and 3 both got automatically converted to a number. That's the reason why it is 2. Okay, so this line and this line, they are exactly same. Okay, even if this is wrapped inside a string, deep down JavaScript converts these two numbers into a converts these two strings into a number and then just divides it like we have in the line number 16. If you go ahead and do something like operator, it is going to give us exact same result. Okay, which is 6 into 3 is 18. If we do 6 plus 3, it is going to give us 63. So right now, the normal mathematical operation did not happen. Right now, with the plus operator, when we try to, plus it, we expected it should give it 9, but it doesn't give us 9, it gives us 63. So what we are seeing here is a result of string concatenation. Okay, string concatenation. There are tons of things to worry about that case, but anyways, this is fine for now. Okay, now next up, let's convert something to a number. Okay, so let some string equals to 1 to 3. Okay, and then we go ahead and try to convert it into a number. So some string dot, do we have something like 2 number? No, we don't have something like 2 number. So how do we do it? In order to do it, we have to follow the same syntax. Okay, we were using string here, so we'll be using what for numbers? We'll be using number. I think you guessed it. So it is going to be some number. Now you see 1 to 3, I mean it should be some string. Okay, so 1 to 3, which was wrapped around the quotes, is not wrapped around the quotes anymore. It is 1 to 3. If we go ahead and check the type of it with the help of type of operator, it is going to say us that hey, what you just converted now, the sum string is now a number. Okay, so this works perfectly fine. Okay, now if we check the type of the original type of sum string, it says that hey, I'm still string. Okay, so what happens, like we saw in the case of string, uh, at this place where it doesn't converts the original value, where it doesn't modifies the original values type. Okay, it doesn't modify the original value type, it just gives you that what will be the case when you try to convert a primitive to a string. What happens when you try to convert a primitive, which is a string, to a number? It just gives you output of that. It doesn't modifies the original type which was there when we defined it. Okay, now there are some cases. Okay, there are some cases to it, like there are some rules to numeric conversions. I'll just list them down. When you try to it, the rules are for primitive to number conversion. Okay, now what are those rules? If you try to convert an undefined, okay, so what do I mean by that? When you try to pass undefined here, then what is going to happen? It is going to result you NaN. NaN stands for not a number. So what does it mean? Undefined is not a number, right? 1 to 3 is a number. Anything from minus infinity to plus infinity is a number. Okay, but undefined is not a number. So when we try to pass undefined to a number and say that hey, convert the undefined to a valid number, it says that undefined is not a number. So that's the reason why it says, why that's the reason why this number undefined returns NaN, not a number, which means undefined is not a valid number. Okay, now when you try to pass null, okay, null is going to give you what? Null is going to give you 0. Okay, these are just couple of exceptions, these are just couple of rules that you need to remember, and nothing much. Because when you're coding and you try to convert something like this, try to convert an undefined to a number, when you try to convert a null to a number, you should be sure that what you're doing. Okay, you should not do all these kind of things. So these are just some exceptions that you need to worry about, so that you don't do any kind of mistakes like this. Okay, now let's go ahead with true and false. Okay, when you pass true to a number, it gives you 1. Fair enough, right? And when you try to uh, pass false to a number, what is going to give you? 0. Okay, I think you guessed it again. And there is some cases for strings. Okay, we can explore that right now. Okay, let some number 1 equals to 1 2 4. When you try to convert this, give me a second. Okay, so let's start again. Okay, I think it's recording. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, where are we? Okay, let's try to convert this. Okay, number some number 1. Okay, it converts it fine, right? We can also try with some different numbers. It converts it fine, right? This particular string just got converted to a number, and it was fine, right? But if we do something like 1 2 3 z, so what we are saying that, hey, you number, do one thing, convert this 1 2 3 z into a number. Now 1 2 3 z cannot be converted to a number because there is a string at the end. Okay, so it gives you not a number, because 1 2 3 z is technically, mathematically, it is not a number. Okay, so we can delete it and we'll get the number back. So whenever you pass any string to a number, to explicitly convert that string to a number, then it has to be a complete number from 0 position till the end position. Even if a string comes in between z over here or z in here or x in here, then it is going to give you that 1x23 is not a number, right? 123 is a number, 1x23 is not a number, so that's the reason why it complains you, it gives you nan, which is not a number. Okay, now if I want to just do something else, okay, let's try to do that. parseInt. Okay, now if I pass some number 1, what is giving me? It is trying to parse. Okay, it is trying to parse some number 1. तो जहां तक इसको न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू मिलेगा, वहां तक ये पास करके दे देगा तुम्हें. जैसे कि अभी x यहाँ पे, अभी ये 1 2 3 पूरा देगा. अभी मैं मान के चलो z यहाँ लगा दूं तो ये 1 2 3 पूरा का पूरा देगा parseInt. ये क्या कर रहा है, 1 2 3 में से जो भी स्ट्रिंग पार्ट है उसको हटा दे रहा है, और जो 1 2 3 है वो हमें रिटर्न कर रहा है. अगर मैं z पहले ही लगा दूं तो ये नॉन रिटर्न करेगा, क्योंकि parseInt पहले में फंस गया. parseInt को पहले में दिखने लगा कि अरे यार ये तो z आ गया यहाँ पे, तो इसको तो हम आगे पार्स नहीं कर सकते. तो parseInt का काम क्या है, वो स्ट्रिंग को रीड करेगा फर्स्ट से लेकर एंड तक और देखेगा उसको कहाँ तक वैलिड नंबर मिल रहा है. उसको अगर यहाँ तक वैलिड नंबर मिला तो सिर्फ वो 1 2 तक देगा, क्योंकि z वैलिड नंबर नहीं है तो रुक जाएगा. उसको अगर z यहाँ पे मिला या कोई स्ट्रिंग यहाँ पे मिला, जैसे कि ये यहाँ पे मिला, तो ये 1 2 3 तक जाएगा, फिर आगे जो नंबर नहीं है उसको पार्स नहीं करेगा. सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द parseInt एंड द नंबर. ओके, so these are two things. So string का रूल ये है for number. ओके, नंबर कंस्ट्रक्टर. ठीक है, return number from a string if string contains valid number. Okay, without any alphabets or special symbols. Okay, now let's go and go for a Boolean conversion. Value to Boolean type conversion. Okay, there is a rule for Boolean to for value to a Boolean conversion. It's a very simple rule. Okay, values that are empty like 0 empty string, null, undefined, none, they will all become false. So what we are going to do, what we are trying to do here, we have various kind of primitives, right? We have number, we have string, we have undefined, we have none, all these things. We want to convert these primitive values into a Boolean type. Okay, let some value to some value equals to empty string. Okay, and then we do Boolean. Okay, for Boolean as well, like we had in the case of string when we wanted to convert a primitive to a string. And in the another case, when we wanted to convert a primitive to a number, we use number, we use string. Same way, we will also use Boolean when we want to convert any primitive to a Boolean type. Okay, and then we pass some string here, not some string, some value. It's going to say false. Okay, let's try something else. Boolean equals to undefined is going to give us false. Okay, let's try something else here. Boolean, and then we pass what? False. False is a false. We are not converting here. Uh, let's try to pass null here. Okay, null is going to be a false. Okay, let's try to pass 0 here. 0 is a false. Okay, so we have checked, like we have checked a couple of cases. When you pass 0, it's going to give you false. When you pass null, it's going to give you false. When you pass undefined, it's going to give you false. When you pass some value, which is basically an empty string, let me simplify it more, it's going to give you false. Okay, and when you pass the last thing in the equation, which is none, not a number, it's going to give you false. Anything apart from this is going to be true. Okay, it is going to be true. So let's try it out. CLG and then Boolean and then some string. It's going to give us true, right? Because we just discussed anything apart from these five will result to true if those values are passed inside the Boolean function, or you can say constructor only. 1 to 3. So yeah, there are a couple of parse function, which is parseFloat. Okay, now let's discuss a bit on that was all about the primitive to a, what do you say, string conversion, number conversion, and then uh, Boolean conversion. Okay, these are a couple of rules which needs to be remembered. Okay, apart from that, um, there are some browser methods. Okay, if we go let prompt equals to, no, let answer equals to prompt hello, and if you then type a number here, then press OK, and then you do answer, see, it is going to give you in a string format. Okay, even if you go ahead and do type answer, it is going to give you a string format. So prompt, this prompt method, whatever you type in that input box that came here, that whatever you type inside that, be it a number, be it a boolean, it is always going to convert that. Even if I write a true here, the it will be a string. Okay, so you have to be careful about when, if you want that input that you are receiving from here should be always in a number, then you can do something like number. Okay, and now pass 11 and then type answer. See, now answer is a number. Okay, now 11 is no longer wrapped inside the quotes. Okay, I'll just try a couple of more scenarios to see where it breaks. 11Z. Now let's go ahead and go to answer. See, why did it happen? Why did it happen? It's just because of the rules that we just saw here. String, right now what we did, we wrote some text in the prompt. Okay, we wrote some text in the prompt. We wrote some text in the prompt. 11z. Okay, z is not a number, but 11 is a number. Okay, when you click on, when you press enter, then what happens, that 11z is passed inside the number. Okay, because prompt by default converts any string, any input into a string. Okay, prompt by default converts anything into a string. We just saw it here. Okay, when we pressed 11, we saw that 11 was of type string. Okay, so in the prompt we just passed 11z. Okay, 11z. So this 11z will be converted into a string. Okay, and then that string 11z will pass into a number. When you pass a string which is 11z into a number, then it is going to return you nan, which is not a number, because 11z is not a number. However, if we have done, which is basically according to the rule that we just saw here. Return number from a string if string contains a valid number without any alphabets or symbols. Otherwise, return nan. Okay. If we do something different that we already did, which is parseInt, then when we type here 11z, okay, that 11z will be converted into a string by the help of prompt function, and that 11z will be passed into parseInt. Okay, so parseInt is going to parse 11z. It is going to parse from the first position till the end position. In the first position it finds 1, which is a number. Fine, it's going to put that as a result. It is again going to see, okay, 1 is again a number. It is going to put them as a result, and in the end it sees that it is a z. Okay, then it is going to discard that, and only 11 as a number will be stored in the answer. Okay, so answer, it is 11. If we check and type of it, it is going to see, it is going to say that hey, it is a number. Okay, so this was one of the important scenarios that was needed to be taken care of. So that was it. That was it about type conversions. Just the last function, which is parseFloat, it is same as parseInt. Okay, let some float equals to 11.244. Okay, clg parseFloat some float. Okay, now let's try to change it. A Wait, let me put that into a string first of all, because then the parsing is going to happen, right? Now let's go ahead and put a here. So 11.2, we can see parseFloat result is 11.2 because we put a here after 2. So the time where this parseFloat found a found a character which is a, it stopped parsing after that. So all these things were not parsed just because it encountered a alphabet in between while parsing this float. Okay, it is same as parseInt that we just saw. This was it about type conversion, and it covers maximum functionalities that we will be anyways using in our upcoming applications. Okay, that's all.